Okay, teed off at Minnippi. A couple ladies let me go ahead of them, so I had them and the marshal watching my first shot in how many months, and I have put it on the other side of this path somewhere. So hopefully I'll pick it up. We're headed that way, and yeah, I got more of the tee than my ball. Shot one. Shot three, actually, because I couldn't find it, but that shot was a decent one approaching the green. I then used the putter in an effort to judge the distance of my shot better. What I should have done is checked the back of the green. You can see that here from the other side. This is where it ended up. I managed to chip it back up onto the green in the first shot, so that was pretty good. 2 putted from there, so 3 over, and there's more footage from this point, because I figured out my strategy of how I was going to set up the camera. So these trees at Minnippi aren't very big yet, but how about this for some bullshit? So my ball ends up right behind the tiniest tree on the course, and unfortunately I've not set my camera up very well here, but pretty easy to tell how my second shot goes. The second shot wasn't bad, just shy of the green, and decided to get the putter out again, not learning my lesson, although this time it was a much better putt. I do promise though, the lesson is learned soon about the angle of the camera. I don't have my videographer, but it gets better. The golf, well, the golf might get a little better too. One can only hope. So on this one, the flag's over that way. There's water in between. I want to hit it straight over here, where it's safe, and where those guys did not end up. I think that's their third shot, by the way. Yeah, those folks weren't moving too quick, but I had no right to be judging them. Now, I moved this back into the tee box without even having to take a step, mind you. Although, you know, look, obviously I should have taken the shot from where it was. I just pretended that I did take it from where it was. So that's my second shot, and that's got a good shape to it. Of course, there's a lot of these raised parts. Oh no, is that my ball there? Okay, I thought that went further. And for a left-hander, this is brutal. I missed the rest of this hole, but that's probably for the best. The shot after that was fine. The next shot was actually great, but then it was a difficult green, and yeah, 4 over. So there's some images of the scenery instead. On the bottom right of the screen there, you can see a group of trees, and that's kind of a muddy area. Well, that first shot seemed to go right in the middle of it, so I took a second shot. Turns out I found both balls. Neither of them were bad. I mean, they weren't great, but I could play the first shot. Chipped it up onto the green, 2 putted, and I was pretty happy with that. The next 2 holes are pretty straightforward and flat. There's the driving range. So hopefully I can send one down the pipe to your amusement. Prepare to be amused, you ungrateful viewers. Hit this nice and flat, curved back in, center of the fairway. Thank you very much. Hooked the next shot, unfortunately, and it ended up very close to the gutter, but pin high, and I feel like I'm allowed to move the ball in a club length drop. I hope that's okay. That's what I did. I just chipped it to here. Not bad for me. Pretty good job on that one. Came away with a bogey, unfortunately. It was a par putt, probably about 4 feet, something like that, and just missed the lip. Wasn't a bad putt, but not good enough. So now another pretty straight par 4, except it's not. It's a par 5. Sent an absolute bullet of a drive down the fairway. Do I even need to zoom in? That was also with the pressure of those ladies behind me looking for their ball quite close to me. If I had hooked it, they'd have been in trouble, but nope, no hooks. Well, actually I did hook the second shot a little bit, but it was definitely savable. maybe this is a mental game I can play with myself in future to say, oh, this is a par 4, I'm going to treat it like a par 4. I'm happy to report, whatever the reason, I finished with a par here. Now, if you're considering visiting Minnippi Golf Course, please consider you're walking around half the neighbourhood to get to the 7th hole. Although it's worth noting that you do go past the clubhouse on your way there. Anyway, the 7th hole is an interesting one. It's a short dogleg left, very, very hilly, but that made it difficult for me to film all of this, and sorry to say, you're not missing out on much in terms of my performance. Hole 8 has been under repair for a long time, and it makes it a really accessible par 4.
Damn it! Damn it!
So, irons out, just hit it straight.
Damn it! Look at that.
I had a bad lie here, so the mantra was, get under it and miss the tree. Well, I got under it and missed the tree. Maybe I should have been more specific. And once again, this isn't the greatest angle, but the green is 5, 6, 7 meters away. It was a decent chip. I'm putting and I go so close but leave it just short. A heartbreaking bogey. That should have been a birdie. 9th hole, par 3, and I felt like I hit this one well, but it bounced straight up in the air and didn't carry as far as I thought it was going to. There is a little ridge here. It's only small, but I think it's hit that and kind of popped up. But here we go. Still on for par. It's a big green and it slopes down, so I was aiming to chip this past the flag somewhat, but probably not that much.
Too much.
This does set me up, however, for a heroic monster putt finish for par. And the footage, unfortunately, just does not do justice to how close that was. In not allowing myself to leave that one short, however, it did go a few meters beyond the pin. No matter, I sink it anyway. Pretty happy with that, but it is another bogey, though bogeys aren't the enemy. Truly, the 4 overs are the enemy. So here's how I ended up after 9 holes at Minnippi Golf Course.